For the first time ever in the history of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, we are here at the Lausitzring for the second round of this series. Right now it's very windy. It's going to be an action-packed weekend alongside DTM and ADAC GT Masters. The Goodyear FIA ETRC, this is the first trophy. Due to a very tight schedule, the qualifying is on Friday afternoon, but you will see all the races and the qualifying on Sunday on our live stream. And after the qualifying on Friday, this is the first pole setter of this weekend.
It's fantastic. I don't remember it. So, okay, I have the pole position last weekend in Misano, but maybe it's not on the start grid to fight with him. So from this side, it's until I don't know how many months, years in the past. So now I'm very proud. So we make my team and my crew, we make a big job for this qualification, and I'm very proud and happy.
So, best of the Chrome Pack after the first qualifying this weekend. How did you manage to get a spectacular time?
Yeah, no, it's very good qualifying for us. I think it's good because a lot of the Chrome drivers haven't been here before, and same as me, whereas so it's good we all had the kind of like the same mix. So yeah, no, it's good to get a good lap in. I've got data engineer now, so Ralph has taught me so much, and after every session we get quicker and quicker and quicker, and I'm starting to get there with the truck now. So not locking up the brakes as much, but yeah, no, we're getting there. I'm happy to be on pole position for tomorrow.
It's going to be a phenomenal debut, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. For the first time ever at the famous Lausitzring. Look at this beautiful landscape here, and also the DEKRA Lausitzring welcomes us with a lot of sunshine, and the fans are already here. And as you can see, the trucks are lining up for the first race. It's going to be the first race ever for the Goodyear FIA ETRC here on this very special circuit, 3.57 kilometers long. And of course, you need good driving skills to compete here. We're so happy for the second round of this championship. And see who's here on the pole position. It's Jochen Hahn. For the first time since when? Yes, Misano. He was on pole position then because Norbert Kisch, the leader of the pack, he is here at the right side. He had some issues, and this is why he let Jochen Hahn from the pole position starting. When was the last time, well, you've been on pole position at Misano, but there before, can you even remember when you had last time the pole position, Jochen?
It's a joke, huh? You asked me yesterday. No, I not really remember. Yes, I remember many pole positions, but the fight with Nobby the last 2 years, it's very hard. And in the time practice last year, he showed us every time what is possible. So with the new truck, we are full motivation, we have the pole, now we make racing.
Absolutely, and it's the first time here on the special circuit at Lausitzring. You're familiar with the track, but what is so special about competing here?
I cannot understand. Again? You know, the track, it's built on sand, so it's very tricky with the viele Bodenwellen in German. It's a left-hand circuit, so it's also not normal in the year. No, I love it. We are in Germany. We have the German people there, and we enjoy it very much.
With Jochen Hahn on pole position for race 1, the fans were hoping for a German to win on home soil, of course. The scenes and shots from our cameras were fantastic at this beautiful venue, one that the series definitely hopes to visit again in the future. The new Iveco S E-Way electric pace truck led us around before unleashing everybody down to turn 1. With yellow flag conditions due to the narrow confines of turn 1, it was only after this that racing could get up to proper speed. Straight away, it was Norbert Kisch all over the back of Jochen Hahn, while others tried to find gaps in the field elsewhere. Eventually, Norby would make his move, and it would be a lovely, clean, late-braking move down the inside on Jochen for P1 at turn 8, while Steffi Halm tried to hold off René Reiner, Sascha Lenz and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. The shots leading up to it, with the trucks winding this way and that way, were certainly wonderful, but then came the move. Steffi, currently running in 3rd position, had definitely been in great form to start the 25 season and was eager to continue that. There were a few close moments into the later stages of the race, particularly with this one with René Reiner, which certainly had everybody holding their breath, whether they were in the grandstands, in the trucks themselves, or on the pit wall. A bit further down the order, Antonio Albacete was hoping to recover from a 5-place grid penalty that he'd picked up for something back at Misano, but a further 10-second penalty would drop him down in race 1. He still made his way past Bradley Smith in the later stages, but all to no avail. Back at the front though, Norbert Kisch took another great victory ahead of Jochen Hahn, while Steffi Halm scored her 3rd podium finish of 2025, ahead of René Reiner in 4th, Sascha Lenz in 5th, and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez in 6th position. But it was mighty close all the way to the flag. It was a great start to the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championships first weekend here at the Lausitzring.
This is the front row you get at the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Let's have a look at the sponsors wall there with the race winner, the first time ever here at the Lausitzring, Norbert Kisch, debut. And after a difficult qualifying, you managed to had a smooth turnover. How was it then, the overtaking situation with Jochen Hahn? For us on the outside, it seemed so smooth between you two.
Yeah, it was not bad. Yeah, I mean, difficult weekend up until this race, because the circuit is really difficult to drive, really bumpy, so it's really heavy on the machine and really heavy on the driver as well. And also this morning in the warm-up we broke a spring on one of these bumps, and then the guys had to change the one of the front springs quickly before the race, but they did a really good job. So again, big thank you to the Rayways Racing team, because they are doing an amazing job, you know, every day. And then in the race, you know, after the start, I was trying to stay close to Johan, a bit too close sometimes, because sometimes I touch him a little bit in the back, and yeah, I was immediately looking for opportunities, you know, and I see that I can brake much later in that braking zone than what he did in the first 2 laps. So it's like, okay, it seems like a good opportunity. I'm close enough. Let's see if he defends. And yeah, he didn't defend the inside. You know, he stayed on the right side, on the outside to prepare for the turn. And you know, I just you know, dived in, could make the braking really efficient, and keep the inside. So yeah, I think good overtaking.
Absolutely fair play. Norbert Kisch going to the podium, which is here on the side, celebrating for the first time here at Lausitzring. Have fun there.
Thank you.
So after having to fight for it, overtaking Jochen Hahn at turn 8, Norbert Kiss wins the first race of the weekend, with Jochen in second, Steffi Halm in third, while down in 7th place, Bradley Smith took his first ever Chrome victory in the category. Mark Taylor was 8th, with Albosetti 9th and Clemens Hecker in 10th, and Stefan Faas finally got a finish out of his new Freightliner. Hopefully more of the same for the rest of the weekend.
This is the place to be, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to race number 2 at this first ever weekend here at the Lausitzring with the Goodyear. Yes, EFI, ETRC. He's hiding behind the flag, but we are here. So as you can see, Bradley Smith, he won the first race, and we have seen a clean racing, ladies and gentlemen. Great, spectacular racing, and we are so happy to be here on the grid. As you can see, grid walk, so lots of fans here trying to get an autograph, a small glimpse in the trucks.
With Bradley Smith and Mark Taylor sharing the front row and a bunch of Titan drivers behind them, nobody really knew how they were going to approach the second race of the weekend. Would they play it safe? Would they attack and defend for everything they've got? Well, it turns out we'd see a bit of both from the front 2 British drivers. It was Mark Taylor on pole on the inside line, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez directly behind him, and Sascha Lenz over on the right. Still running under yellow flag conditions down to turn 1, everybody would get as single file as possible before finally getting the racing underway, skimming the walls on the exit of the oval section here at the Lausitzring. Clemens Hecker would have an early issue and eventually lose power. He would pull over at the side of the road, eventually get the truck back to the pit lane, but would take no further part in race 2. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez was the first of the Titan drivers to make his way past Bradley Smith, and then the rest would follow. The floodgates had certainly opened, but Bradley was playing it safe and thinking about his championship chances within the Chrome class. Steffi Halm was just in front of Jochen Hahn, with Norbert Kiss just behind, but while Mark Taylor led the race, he made this slight mistake and lost a lot of ground to Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Steffi Halm would eventually make the move down into turn 1, with fellow Iveco driver Jochen Hahn following her through. Bradley trying his very best here to stay in a safe position. Norbert Kiss would also capitalise. At the very front of the order, Mark Taylor was holding on as best he could ahead of all the Titan drivers. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez given a black and white flag for this bit of conduct, pushing Mark over to the right-hand side. Mark held his ground though, and despite further contact would continue to keep the lead. René Reinert was certainly looking threatening as well, trying to make a move down the inside of Sascha Lenz, and he would soon get up into 3rd place. But that certainly wasn't before there was any further battling with the Ivecos behind. Jochen Hahn still looking to make his way through as well, and Norbert Kiss waiting in the wings. Sascha Lenz and René Reinert certainly got physical while their battle continued, but it would be the big blue MAN that made it in front. Norby was throwing absolutely everything at Jochen Hahn to try and get through, but with the pack being so compressed together, it was difficult for anybody to find an advantage. René Reinert somehow managed it though, and got ahead of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. His wife's reactions in the pit lane certainly entertainment for all around as the race went on. Mark Taylor held really strong at the front end of the field, just hoping that he could take an outright victory in the championship. Everybody was mighty close together though, with the top 7 trucks covered by just a matter of seconds after 3/4 of the race. Eventually down at turn 8, René Reinert would pull off a move similar to what Norbert Kiss did in race 1, and eventually get the overall lead and start to streak away. René had spent 3 years away from the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, and he was delighted already to be in front of the pack. Could he hold on? As you can see, reactions were justified down in the pit lane. The battles behind certainly didn't finish there though. Jochen Hahn made this move down the inside of Steffi Halm, but unfortunately for his teammate opened the door for Norbert Kiss, and he too would make his way down the inside at turn number 3. Steffi running slightly wide onto the gravel, but holding on ahead of Antonio Albacete. Jochen had put in a fantastic defence all the way through the race, but unfortunately the race was a bit shorter for Stefan Faas, another technical issue for them. Sascha Lenz was next in line to take a position from Mark Taylor, but his ex-teammate would try his very best to hold on in second place. He was still leading the Chrome class and didn't want to risk too much. Antonio Albacete's final attack on Steffi Halm didn't come to anything, and he would have to just hold on in front of Bradley Smith. Bradley once again using his head and aiming for those Chrome Championship points. It was wonderful to see the whole field so close together though, after so long in the race. Once again, Norbert Kiss tried every attack that he could into turn 8, and once again Jochen Hahn defended. It was one of the best battles that we'd seen from the duo in recent years. Even at this point, Norby managed to get his cab in front going into the corner, but there was no room for error on the exit, and the two of them would get mighty, mighty close together. Up at the front though, after 3 years away, René Reinert would take his overall victory in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Mark Taylor second outright, with Sascha Lenz in third, and Mark of course taking the win in the Chrome category.
Of course, with family support here and fair play, the congratulations. Congratulations! Yeah, that's the first race win in the books after 3 years being absent from this championship, and then on the debut season here at the Lausitzring. It comes all together.
Yes, it's unbelievable, really, and yeah, I don't know what to say, but yeah, it was a fantastic race. I guess my best race in my whole life. So from 5th position, start position, then to the first. I think very good overtaking maneuvers, very clear, without any contact. It was really a fantastic race.
What did it mean for you that the family is there to celebrate with you?
It's unbelievable. You cannot imagine something better, you know. It was a great victory. Then the family and the whole team is here, and the Lausitzring, so it's 100% or 110.
And the second race of the day always means champagne. Who's getting transferred now?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello, welcome back. Here we are at the truck of Antonio Albacete, and there's going to be a transponder change over there. This is one of the tightest working spaces I've ever seen, and really good job from the team, T-Sport Burner, fixing it right before this race. Let's have a look and talk to Antonio Albacete. So, Antonio, there's a colleague of you right under the truck. Are you confident that he's going to fix it?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been a hard work for the whole team, you know, to fix the track. And then we have very bad luck yesterday also with the overspeed. But yeah, I mean, I think the track is going well.
I just make a mistake, a small mistake this morning in the quali, so I was not able to do a real good lap, you know. But yeah, I'm happy with the track, so I'm confident, and we will see if we can fight for the top 3 positions today.
We also like to explain the audience a lot. So what is it about a transponder? What is it doing?
Well, I mean, we will try to fix that speed problem, you know, to see what happened. But I think it's going to be difficult. I think I have to go a little bit, find the position of the throttle, not to overspeed.
In what would turn out to be the final race of the weekend, we returned for Sunday morning's racing under a lot of grey clouds and a lot of uncertainty from the teams as to whether there would be rain threatening our races. There was no threat at the front of the grid from Jochen Hahn or Norbert Kish, or in regards to the rest of the field, there was no threat of anybody else being on the front row of the grid. Down into turn 1, we were back under yellow flag conditions, but then the race got underway and everybody tried their best to find the slightest gaps in the field, coming very close to the walls on many occasions. Initially out of the blocks, it was Norbert Kish, Jochen Hahn, Steffi Halm and Antonio Albacete. Jochen, trying to keep up the chase in the opening laps, was putting in some seriously good lap times. The battles behind in the Chrome class were closer than ever, Louis Requenco looking like he had some great pace this weekend, while Antonio Albacete led the charge to chase down Steffi Halm, Rennie Reinert and Sasha Lenz in hot pursuit. Steffi once again had a trio of drivers chasing her down, and Mark Taylor was in the same boat. He had Louis Requenco on his rear, with Bradley Smith and Clemens Hecker in the mix. Unfortunately, Stefan Faas would have another race cut short by technical failure with the number 24 Freightliner. At the front though, things were hotting up for Norbert Kish as he continued to lead the race, and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez was making his way through the order. The Portuguese driver had to change a gearbox after qualifying and then would not be anywhere near the front of the grid. So he was soon making his way through the Chrome class, hoping to get back up with the Titan drivers he so rightly fought with at the front end of the order. He overtook Clemens Hecker and got up behind Bradley Smith, but soon we'd noticed that it was just a very strange drop of pace from Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Usually a very feisty driver, he seemed to slow down slightly. It eventually transpired that he was losing a lot of water in the truck and he was looking after the temperatures. Clemens Hecker taking advantage of this and making his way down the inside to regain an overall championship position and a championship point. This had meant though that the gap to Bradley was now a lot bigger and he was gone up the road. One of the only overtakes in the top half of the field came at the expense of Antonio Albacete. Rennie Reinert making this lovely move down the inside into turn 1 after setting it up at turn 12, and he would lead the charge to try and chase down Steffi Halm. At the front though, it was Norbert Kish continuing a 100% record across races 1 and 3 in 2025, with Jochen Hahn in second and Steffi Halm once again in third. He certainly celebrated it in style with this lovely drift out of the final corner. So Norbert Kish takes his second race victory of the weekend ahead of Jochen Hahn and Steffi Halm, the same podium that we had for the first race of the entire weekend. Rennie Reinert in fourth place did a good job, and of course Mark Taylor took another win in the Chrome class, holding off Louis Requenco and Bradley Smith.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can't predict the weather. It is raining here at the Lausitzring. And as you can see, our personnel is heading back to headquarters, and we will join in because unfortunately we were ready for race number 4. But according to everyone from the team and according to all the safety we needed on this track, the race is deleted for today, unfortunately, because I think that's a very brave and a good decision. Everyone, the drivers and the team, they were out there checking also the track, and they've been a bit oil spilled ahead of this race, and of course for safety reason it is not possible to race today. Ladies and gentlemen, what can I say? We had a spectacular race weekend here at the Lausitzring with 52,000 spectators, and they all were trying to find some safety right now from the rain also. Thank you all the team really involved. It is a last second decision, but I'm absolutely convinced that this is the right one. As you can see, they're packing up all the signs, the final lap, the penalty lap, everything is not needed anymore here at Lausitzring. But we had a wonderful time. We had a blast. It's the first time ever that this series took place here in this beautiful landscape of Eastern Germany. But of course, there's nothing more to say than wish you all the best, and we see you at Slovakia Ring, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you everyone for tuning in so regularly. Please tune in on our social channels. We would love to share some content there for you, of course, during the weeks. And I can say tschüss, bis bald, auf Wiedersehen, ciao.